Good afternoon, ladies.
Wait, no. And 1, 3. I'm just gonna go like this. Okay.
You will still say, tell me when to start, Malaika.
I'm just gonna put it in the chat.
I'll put in the chat. Go. Good afternoon, New York and the universe. How are you today? We would like you to come with us and join the stories from long, long time ago. And let's travel with these stories as if we're part of the characters. Are you ready? Okay. So we're going to bring you to a land far, far away. In fact, good morning, Philippines. It's 5 o'clock there in the morning. So Philippines is composed of 7,100 islands, and sometimes it's 7,108 islands during low tide. And long, long time ago, it's not called Philippines yet. It is part of a lot of islands called Doña Malayo Nusantara. So this group of islands are living by itself, and the culture and tradition and the civilization flourishes as they trade their goods, their produce, their artworks, their artisan to each other until the Europeans came, and there they took these islands and divided it among themselves and named it according to what name they wanted to give. So a group of islands was taken by the British and named it Malaysia, and a group of islands of that Doña Malay Nusantara was taken by the Dutch and named it Indonesia, and a group of 7,100 islands. Except what island? 7,099 islands was taken by the Spaniards and named it after King Philip II. Yes, and those islands were under King Philip II for 400 years. But there is one island that was not taken over by the Spaniards. So the indigenous stories, the long, long time ago tradition and civilization were preserved and still a living tradition up to the current moment. So this afternoon, we're going to enjoy the story, at the same time travel with the characters, and also dance with us. All these royal dances and ritual dances that carries the story from the legends, epics, and myths of the Philippines, and particularly southern Philippines, the island of Mindanao. We're going to bring you to the story of Darangin, and the story of Raja Mangandiri, and the story of the Tiboli people carrying that epic of creation called Lamlunay with the character named Tudbulol. So stand by, stay with us, and if you feel like dancing during the storytelling dance, dance with us. Rambayung mudas ako, uwing kapilumbayan, o bumbaran walungan, Azul kami naradaw. Amuntia migagado. Ako kaya ganataka. Malaika, you have to put music somewhere here, okay? Arambala denaka. Can you play music?
Okay, I'll try it. I'll try it. Keep going, keep going.
So I will just sing one stanza and just play it back. Thank you very much. So did you see the story of the dance? You can put it in your comments. So that dance is the use of malong, which is the tubular cloth, in order to tell the story of the life of a woman, a day in the life of a woman. See how versatile women are. And that's the way we tell our story. Meanwhile, I just want to show you what I wore. So this is a malong. You see that? It's a tubular cloth.
So they have that. And so the blue line.
And this is what you call landap. So it's a hand-woven textile, particularly of the Maranao people or people of the lake. If you will see this, you will identify it from my people. I'm a Maranao. So the landap, it has a tuberan. Okay. And then if you are going to see this kind of malong, it's the tubular cloth. This is what you call Kinurayan design. And there's a siko-siko, karuwang. This is in a wall. And this is particularly woven, hand woven by the Maguindanao people or people of the flooded plains. And we are now going to the story Oh, you only put the textile in one part, Malaika? And this textile, if you will see this is from the Tausug people. People of the strong current. So these people are indigenous, and they are the reason why Mindanao was not taken over by the Spaniards, because they have a very old governmental system called the Sultanate. So the biggest sultanates are the Maguindanao, the Maranao, the Maguindanao, the Tausug, and the Maranao and Iranon tribes. So Kinding Sindao also give classes, on history and oral tradition and other things that we will not be able to include today's storytelling. So you can go to our website, www.kindingsidao.org, and message us which classes you're interested. And then later on, you will see this textile. It's called tinalak. You will see this during this part where we are going to tell the story of the Tiboli people. And I would like to go back to what we mentioned earlier. We said that Mindanao was not conquered by the Spaniards. It is because of the strong sultanates. And one of the most famous sultan who really united all the other indigenous people, indigenous tribes, is the paramount sultan, Sultan Kudarat. The reason why, we owe him why we still have this culture and tradition that we are sharing with you, and all these stories that is still in the oral tradition. It was Sultan Kudarat. His fierceness and his statesmanship and his strong belief that the land that belongs to the people should not be taken over by any invaders or any strangers. I will show you one of the art of the Mindanao warriors. Mindanao warriors, it's very artistically created. It's called kris. This is a small kris. Beautiful. It has a royal symbols of Naga. See? These are the art of the blades. And look at this. These are artisanship, particularly of the Tugaya people. And you have seen the Naga design there and the Sarimanok design. Beautiful, right? And one that belongs to the Sultan. This is what we call kris, that if you're a Sultan, you're supposed to be carrying this, not because you want to go to war, but because it's a symbol, you know? So it's not only Europeans that has all the symbolical sword. Our civilization is very ancient that we developed this. Our artisans are very, very beautifully artistic. Look, the head of the dragon and the kris. So this is part of my heirloom. So we're very lucky that I was able to catch this part of my heritage and I'm able to share with you. So now we're going to travel to the people who owns this. The Tausug people. The people from the strong current. They're the greatest pearl diver in history. If you have seen the South Sea Pearl, it belongs to the Tausug people. In the future, you'll be able to see some of our dances that shows how the diver offers their life and the sense of hearing to get that pearl. So this story that we're going now is the story of the Sarimanok. Mutya ka baliling sa baybayon. Mutya ka baliling sa baybayon.
Where you're going to explain the different
Music, Malaika. My third baliling, put on the music. Mutya ka baliling sa baybayon. Malaika.
Sorry, question. Were you supposed to do the rain? I was supposed to do the rain first.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to show her
You can hear it. I don't have the rain stick, so I'm doing this.
I know, but you're also supposed to explain the rain stick is to signal Diane's camera to turn on, And then now you're supposed to explain the movements.
Oh.
And then you sing Muchang Kabaliling to turn your
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I see that while Diane is okay. All right. And so we're going now to visit these people, the Tausug people. See how beautiful their weaving is, and also they have the mat weaving, very famous, out of those reeds from the Basak, or what you call the Marsi Island. So we're gonna show you the movements of Pangalay. We'll see. We're gonna use some of the terminologies, but I will use part of it in English. So we have the hand, which is what you call the dragon hand, right? Or in Tausug terminology, it's bunga lima. Bunga lima, you know? It's the beautiful flower of the hands. Okay, so we're gonna do the story of the Sarimanok. Sarimanok is a legendary bird. Once upon a time, Sari is actually a goddess from the highest level from the seventh level of the heavens. And her mission on earth is to take care of the bodies of water, the ocean, the rivers, the stream, the spring, the waterfalls, the ponds, and all the bodies of water. And it includes the fishermen. And at the end of the day, Sari goes home to the seventh layer of the heavens. One day, in her mission here on earth, she saw a handsome fisherman. And she fell in love with that fisherman. She went up to the seventh layer of the heavens after the day's mission, and she told her dad, the god, Dad, or Tatay, or Bapa, I fell in love with this handsome fisherman. So this is the response of her father. What? You are not supposed to fall in love. You're not supposed to fall in love, and you are forbidden to fall in love with any humans. So Sari is non-confrontational. You know, that's the way we grow up. In our generation, you're not supposed to be confrontational. Hold it in your feelings. Hold it in your hand. Until one day, Sari could not hold it anymore. She didn't go home to the seventh layer of the heavens, and she went to the fisherman. And then after the wedding, the next day, in the morning, when the fisherman woke up, he cannot find Sari anymore. So he went around the house, he went outside, he ran along the seashore to find Sari, but there's no Sari. Even how much he gonna shout, Sari, where are you? Sari, where are you? He could never find Sari. However, he saw this beautiful bird that now is called Sarimanok. And it's a symbol of good seafaring. And let's see, I'm going to show you now what are the movements of this particular genre or particular dance. Pangalay is a genre of the dances from the Tausug people, and where we're gonna dance is the legend of the Sarimanok. There are other dances within Pangalay, but this afternoon you're gonna see the Sarimanok story and also the social function of that story. So I'm gonna follow up later. What does that mean? Whatever you have seen. So this is the rain, the ocean, the bubbles from the sea, and this is the birds, and this is the horn beetle where you shake your shoulder. And you will see how the movement of the feet shows the transfer from one boat to another, because the Tausug people lives in the boat, especially when they travel to other islands to exchange their pearl with other goods. So we'll go now to this particular dance. Mutya kabaliling sa baybayon. Malaika, should I chant instead the isulay tahi kisa?
Yeah, if that's what you want, but turn your camera off as you're chanting.
Okay. Isulay tahi kisa bahi putli isara. Babahi sama langka. Music Malaika. Into nang iabdala. So did you enjoy? You able to try this? Okay, now we are going to travel again to the story of Lamlunay. Lamlunay means the land of light. This is now where the world of Tudbulol, or the hero of this epic, lives. And this is located in a plateau, and it's called Lake Cebu in the southern part of southern Mindanao. So once upon a time, there are 7 sisters. Their mother is Mangail, and she delivered 7 daughters without a father. It's basically the virgin birth. 7. And however, there are actually 3 evil spirits who wanted to take this paradise from them, this beautiful Lamlunay. Up to now, you will see it there, that there's a 7-step falls, beautiful land on a plateau that is very fertile. It's becoming touristy though, but it's still there, the beauty of the waterfall. And the Tiboli people kept their tradition for longest time. They were not discovered, quote unquote, by the lowlanders. They have exchanges with the neighboring Maguindanao people, but no contact with non-indigenous people of Mindanao until 1976. So they preserved this beautiful chant of Lamlunay, and the story went on where Kayong, the bad guy, eventually has to kill. It's really after the mother, because she is powerful, and each of the 7 sisters have powers. Like Boy Gofus Malong, her Malong has a very powerful. Boy Gofus Swat, which is her headdress, is very powerful. And one day, the 3 sisters just requested their mother to have a brother, and then Tudbolol was born to save them from the attack of this evil spirit. So let's travel to Lamlunay. You will see. Okay, we missed something in Pangalay though. I have to explain why the nails were dropped. And here, and you will see that the Tiboli people are right now facing some kind of extinction, because their land is actually taken by multinational companies like Dole Pineapple and the fruit, what do you call this? I forgot. Remind me, Malaika, what is that fruit? And so this is the story that has to be told, so that the world will know that this beautiful story has to be kept by the people who owns it, the Tiboli. But if the land is taken from you, if you're indigenous, then you are gonna lose your life. And the legends, epics, and myths is the story that is compatible to life. When there is no land, then the tribe will die. So this is one of the purposes why we have to tell this story again and again. And we'd like to relate it to the other indigenous people who are losing their land right now from the encroachment of multinational companies, the corporations that only think of profit rather than preservation of nature. So we're gonna chant to you now. Where is my notes? Where's my notes? It will be more fluid tomorrow, okay? Oh, let me explain first. So for the Tiboli people, they're always related to the veins of earth. Like rice. Rice is very sacred. And before this rice will be planted, the Tiboli people will go near the rice paddies and do this prayer dance. This dance that asks for Mother Nature to make this land fertile, so that this rice will grow, will have a bounty of harvests and protect it from infestation. So let's join now this particular dance called Madal Tanong. It's a ritual dance for rice planting. Desodwata. You can
Desodwata.
Diane, you can do that too. So there will be more.
It's only one person, please.
Desodwata. 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 Halika mo dong minboloyen. What is the music of Jamila? Canned music or you will do the music? Yes. Laika. Malaika. Malaika. Malaika.
Yeah.
Can I explain a bit now or before the dance of Jamila? And I have to check the Luna here before to start dancing. So can you put in the notes? Malaika.
Okay.
Malaika, so this is
Now you have to introduce the three. Yeah, I'll make a note of it. Please
make
keep
a
going.
note. So Jam, you will be on screen already. You know, you're posing while I'm explaining this dance, and then I'm going to chant. You're moving slowly already during my chant and start the full dance after my chant. After the Iuwe. Okay, you can also say Iuwe with me.
Okay, so we need a different cue for her. That's fine. Keep going. So this is the part where you introduce everyone.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We will have more storytelling soon in the future. Just follow us in Instagram, Facebook, and our website. And you also have a Twitter. So if you have comments, or if you have suggestions, or if you want more storytelling, so go to our IG, go to our FB, and go to our Twitter and our website. So this afternoon, we have with us, in earlier we had, I'm Putri Rangkamanis. I should have introduced myself earlier. I'll introduce myself earlier. We have Diane Camino, who danced for us the Tausug dances.
Hi.
And we have Jamila Lenises, who danced for us the Tivoli dances. And our tech and director for this particular event is Malaika Kianyo. Show your face, Malaika. Can you show it?
Thank you.
That's Malaika. That's her picture. Okay, so, and join us in our salutation. In honor of our ancestors who created and transmitted this tradition to us, with open hearts, we'd like to take them in mind, body, and soul. And with humility, we bow as you use it to empower us as you walk our path. And thank you.
Thank you.
And we have to bow.
You have to bow, and then we're gonna dance out. Okay. So while
Let's
you're
bow
bowing,
3
I'll start
times.
cueing the music.
And
Okay.
then music.
Yeah. So just keep like doing your bow, and then
Okay.
pose, and then I'll play the music.
All right, okay, bow. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All front bow na lang. Through 3 times. So while we're bowing, Malaika, I think you have to start your music. Overlap.
Yeah.
How many minutes, Malaika?
You just take your time and then turn the camera off. Dance to your song.